I will double check to make sure we are.
Are you no live?
I'm looking. I can't see it.
It looks like I am live. Yes, we are live.
Good.
Excellent.
We are here. Nice.
We are here. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the first episode of. Let me see. Order. Put this at the right. First episode of the Captain's Table. The Captain's Table is it's Captain's Table. He's at the head of the table there. This is a Star Citizen podcast with we bring in community content creators to come in, hang out, talk about the recent news in Star Citizen. We're not really a news podcast. It's more of just kind of a sit back, relax, grab yourself something to drink, hang out. If you guys want to get involved in the discussion, feel free to.
Fap if you feel like it.
Yeah, just you know, the pants off, dance off. You do what you want to do. That's just what this is for. Going in order to introduce, we've got right below me we have Meyer Test.
Did you say below me?
Below me.
Below me.
To his left, we have Gray-Headed Gamer, GHG.
What's up, guys?
And then we have to his left, we have Brickyard from Brickyard Gaming. Above Brickyard, we have Geo of Geo Get Money. And to Geo's right, we have, at the head of the table, Captain Flint. And, of course, I am as always, your humble space bartender and host, Paul Shelley of the Astro Pub.
Yay!
Harbies.
I do like to shout out Nubsley for making this overlay. He spent some time with me yesterday, making sure everything works like that and stuff.
It's rubbish.
It sucks.
It's terrible.
Did he actually spend time on that?
Yeah.
Everyone sucks.
Wow.
I think it's beautiful. It's so beautiful.
So how this is going to work is I have discussion topics. We have kind of something we're going to read off of, and we can feel free to jump in as you want. If you guys want to have any questions at the end of this, you hit ! questions, and it'll give you a link to a Google Forms. You fill out, ask the questions. You can ask questions of any of us, one of us, some of us. You can ask official CIG questions, which we will answer completely incorrectly, so we can get concern threads on the forums, and Disco Lander can scream at me again.
Good times.
So the first one is you all have downloaded 2.3, I assume.
I have.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Have you all played it live, or you've just done the PTU?
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
Just PTU for me.
Just PTU.
I've not checked it live yet. I need to check some issues, but yeah, no, I've not played it live.
I haven't touched live. I did PTU.
I have played live for a tad bit.
A tad bit.
Which is a little less than a smidgen, but...
Just a little less than a schmidgen. Just a little
yes.
bit. So far, my experience with this has been pretty good. It's pretty good in terms of stability.
The FPS seemed a tad low, but not going to complain.
Yes,
I am, actually.
It's better than...
have it.
It's better than Flint.
Is it better than when it was on the PTU, though?
Yes. I mean, it's the same. It's the same level as the F patch was. So.
You always get a boost from PT to live because of the bandwidth limitations and also the tech of the servers they run for their test environment.
So I think it's a good step forward. I think we're waiting on more content, like actual features to come out, but.
Yeah.
So to be the ass,
yes,
and someone has to be the ass. To be the ass, and in order to be the ass, I have to glaze over all the awesome under the covers work that happened. But to be the ass, the amount of new stuff in 2.3 was underwhelming.
I agree.
I mean, to be fair, it also was released much faster than 2.2.
Well, they wanted to get back on track on their monthly releases, right? And they like releasing on Fridays for some crazy reason. So they couldn't release next week because next week ends on Thursday when I fly to America. But I mean, like I say, but honestly, so I'm literally that was just to be an ass.
Yeah.
For the layman, for the general kind of community member who doesn't understand the complexities of everything that went under the cover, which was a lot. In this patch, it felt very content light. So I'm hoping for feels more content heavy, but there was a lot that went into it. So the power systems, the changes to the animation systems,
the item systems that they've been working on.
Yeah, there's so much that went in that people would miss.
Right.
And that's the thing, right? That is a big thing that people would miss, the amount of crazy amount of content that went in.
Oh yeah, definitely.
For me, comparative to the other patches that have been out, I am surprised this one went to live as quick as it did. I thought we might have another few days on the PTU with it, maybe another patch, at least to G, and then to live.
So what would you had fixed in G? What would have been tweaked more?
Well, see, that's the thing with me not playing it in live. I don't know.
FPS weapons. FPS weapons right now are kind of fuckered. The sniper rifle shoots real wide sometimes, sporadically.
Yeah.
The shotgun seems off for sure.
They also broke old Vanderbilt. Like the rings don't open.
Oh, the rings don't open. Yeah,
They do not open. Yeah.
I did. I flew it with the Jean Scout, and it's a tight squeeze.
Yeah, just a bit. Yeah.
I will say with the
FPS,
FPS weapons, that's kind of more like a balance thing, though. That's something you can do with like a hot pit.
Oh no,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think it's like their functionality. For the sniper rifle, it seems like a functionality problem with it. Aim. With a sniper rifle, it needs to aim well. If you are on target and zoomed in, that's the idea of a sniper rifle. And it's
so what you're saying is that when you're on target,
There should be no. Yeah, there should be no variance.
It's like missing even when you're on target and zooming in. Okay.
Yeah, and for a lot of people, that's very important. We're finally getting these weapons in, and the sniper rifle, and especially the shotgun for me. I had been waiting for that electric shotgun, but the sniper rifle for a big group of FPSers, it has to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially in Zero G.
Off.
I'm definitely a sniper guy.
You got no windage, you've got no gravity, you've got no Coriolis effect, you've got nothing to affect it. So if your reticule is on the target and you're within effective range of a kilometer, whatever it is I've set it to, it should hit.
Yep.
I did a test. I started at a kilometer, couldn't hit shit. I was shooting Maya, in fact. We got to 600 meters before we actually managed to hit the guy. Granted, it did kill him.
One shot, one kill. Yeah.
Yeah, my experience with the shotgun is like, at least in PTU, I went EVA with it, and I was probably less than 20 meters away from the dude, or 20. Yeah, I'm not good with. I was at least a few feet away. I should have been within effective range of a shotgun, and the spread was so wide it was missing him entirely. Like maybe one would hit him. So but that seems to be more like of a tweak thing. Like you got to tweak it down, like the spread a little bit and the damage rates. But that's how it works. So I think that covers the FPS weapons portion of this. How about the Car2 All? How did you guys like the Car2 All?
It's so cool.
Yeah, it's such a nice
that's my review. It's so cool.
It's so cool. Myers, they're just putting it up on their advertising now. Myers says it's so cool.
Mine would be them stairs.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Them stairs.
those
my gosh,
stairs weren't in.
To be fair, the stairs. Like I grew up on Flight and Navigator, so those stairs definitely, and the ball controls for sure. But
Space boobies.
Nipple controls.
They are space boobies.
blue balls.
Definitely.
But the F patch, the tweaks they made to it in the F patch definitely put it right in there in the awesome controls category.
Yeah.
And they
Exactly
increased the
the same
speed, I
speed.
noticed as well. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so it's
started
exactly the
off
same
in
speed as the M50 now, in both SEM and Boost. I didn't check on Cruise actually, but SEM Boost same speed as the M50. Slightly slower on the response on strafe. The rotation speed is on par with the M50, and direction change is slightly slower. But I think it's actually pretty solid.
I mean, it's supposed, in lore at least, it's supposed to be a racing ship as well as a combat ship.
Sure, in Vatu 2940 Murray Cup winner.
Yeah. So
a lot of people, I think were a little pissed off when PTU first hit and it was flyable because it just, it was flyable, but it really wasn't.
Yeah.
It was a bear.
It was bad, but they did a really good job of bringing it up to
fine tuning it so soon as
well,
well.
the thing was that I think
they pretty much had it.
It was probably a bug because it's apparently on the XML files it had the exact same stats as a Super Hornet.
Okay.
So like I saw someone had extracted it and said, yeah, all of this, it's got the exact same stats in terms of maneuverability and flight as a Super Hornet. So which doesn't make any sense for a ship that's supposed to be a fast, light scout ship. So
Right.
you know, Now, how about the price? Do you guys think that the price was a reasonable price? This $175. I mean, wasn't it originally being sold for about that price before?
It's all relative.
Yeah.
It's an internet spaceship raising money for a game. I try not to talk about the prices as much as I.
Yeah. Thing is, with the price of the ships, it is just a supporting the development of the game. But the thing is, with the price of ships, the value of a ship in real world money is not purely about the value of the ship in inverse. But even if that's the case, you're talking about the value of the ship being the size of the ship, the capability of the ship, but also the rarity of that ship. And that's the big thing, right? We don't want everyone flying around with a Shion Scout.
Definitely.
Well, and also we don't know right now. We really don't have any information as to what the special functions of those ships are going to be in game. You know, like the blade and the scout. You know, what special things can we do with the alien ships that we can't do with the human ships that might justify a larger price?
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, maybe using alien alloy, it's obviously using alien alloy, so it can have that floaty ass friggin' ladder. But we're talking about a ship that the value of that ship is the fact that it's rare and unique. If you don't press it high enough, that value is degraded, so it becomes a lesser value ship by inference because anyone can get it because it's super cheap. So having the higher price, basically the price dictates how rare it is, and the rareness of it dictates the value. So I think it all balances out pretty well.
Yeah, I feel like the price is kind of meant to just be there to actually deter people from buying it, as opposed to the other way around.
Right. Yeah. Overpopulated servers with nothing but Katuars and blades would suck.
Yeah, I think we talked about. It's been referenced in the community before as paying for Alien, as you pay higher price for aliens. But I think it's right. It's because they want to deter people. It's like they don't want to have everybody flying around in Idris, which is why Idris costs so much.
Right.
And
I would agree with that.
So,
sure.
Go ahead.
So no, I was just going to say. So I think a lot of people who complain about the prices, some just really want the ship and can't afford it. That's fine. You can complain because you're rammed because you can't afford the ship you want. But ultimately, it's people who don't understand the marketing and profitability of selling things and the supply and demand stuff. So if people turn around and say, "Oh, they just put it really high because they want to make more money," just don't understand how markets work.
They do want to make more money. They want to make more money because it's expensive as fuck to run an MMO.
Oh yeah, exactly. But ultimately, they would have made more money setting the price lower because more people would have bought it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aurors are the best-selling ships. They say that's their best.
Well, that's because they're the best ships in the game.
Exactly. They could easily have cashed in by setting the price lower and getting more people to buy it. But what they've done is they've set a price that allows them to earn a decent amount of money to support the cost of the game without compromising on the fact that this is a rare ship and should be a rare ship.
Yeah. Well, and to throw something in there, I know we'll probably talk about this later. They said they've sold around 9,000 blades already right now. So
over 9,000?
Yeah, it was about 9,000.
Over
9,000. Yeah, so people are buying these alien ships. I don't know how rare they're going to be in the verse, but that's what you're really paying for with the alien ships is the rarity, like you guys were saying earlier. So it's really up to you how much you want to spend. People didn't want to buy the blade. I bought a blade because I love the Vandal ships and I love alien ships. I need more in my hangar. So it's really just up to you.
Yeah. Yeah, if you can afford the back game, you can buy the ship with money. Otherwise, just earn it in game.
Yeah, just wait. I want a Starfarer so bad right now, it's killing me. And they're for sale right now.
Exactly.
But I'm not going to. That's the first ship I want to buy with UEC in the game for busting my ass on cargo runs.
Well, also people have been doing this thing where they'll buy the latest, greatest ship that comes out in the hangar or concept sale. Like, I gotta buy it. And it's like, you gotta slow it down a little bit. You can get these ships in the universe. You don't have to buy it right now.
Now, with alien ships, they will be harder. They said this times.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You can't just go to the dealership and say, "Oh, yeah, I want a Vandal ship." Even the replica models, you cannot do that. It's going to be a lot harder in verse.
Yeah. So it should. Yeah. But I'm honestly, I'm so glad. My bank is so glad that I set myself the
0 to hero
mission to start off with an Aurora, and that's it. If I allowed myself to start any higher ship than my Aurora, I wouldn't have stopped.
I wouldn't hang myself at to start off with that flying cockroach.
I'd be the best equipped homeless person in the UK.
Oh,
At
no,
least the Sting Bang I'd have to start off with if that was.
the Bang Stang is a good starter ship, though. I think
that's
the
the
Bang
one
Stang
I
is
do.
a good starter ship.
Titan.
It is.
The Titan, I'd say the Titan's good too. I think the Titan's a good, but there is something to say about starting with like one of the starter ships. Though when you're talking about the beta is about the same price as the Titan, anyways. So, whatever. But yeah, no, it's such a good idea. I've stolen it from Flint to do it myself. The whole like I'm gonna have an entire different account that's just 0 to hero.
We're starting the movement, guys. We're starting the movement.
The 0 to hero movement. The Captain Flint's 0 to hero.
When people ask me like what ships to get, like I always just tell them that even though they're able to spend ships, there's this one guy who was like, I have a budget of $120. What should I buy? And I'm like, just get one of the starter ships. He's like, but I have $120. I'm like, yeah, but get one of the starter ships. He's like, but I have this money.
I need to spend monies.
It's burning in my pocket.
Buy loads of UEC. And buy a load of missiles.
Or you could buy some really cool swag. Like they've got some really cool stuff on their
get some flair,
on their stuff. Like not just flair, but you can also get things like the map, like the physical map. You can get yourself some patches, T-shirts. I mean, we all have our patches, shirts. So I mean, it's definitely cool.
Subscriber T-backs, they're coming back into the store.
Nice, yeah. So like, there's lots of cool things. You get yourself a subscription. It's worth it. You
guys see the mouse pads?
They have mouse pads, or are they the Goliath mouse pads still?
Yeah, the Goliath. They got a new one.
They had a new one?
Yeah.
Ooh, I love those things.
Yeah, with the crucible on it.
I think was it Sandy tweeted out a picture or something of one, or maybe it was Ben.
Yeah, they tweeted it out. Yeah, they tweeted it out.
And it was
Sandy.
Yeah.
And they had the thumbnail in the YouTube video for around the verse, I think. So.
Yeah. All right. So moving on, we talked about the Starfarer as a ship. What are your guys' impressions?
It's my favorite.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So cool.
Craig Adams.
11 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean,
5 out of 7.
I don't think any of us really even had even considered how well major multi-crew ships would look like, and holy shit,
Amazing.
4 decks.
Yeah,
4 decks. I walked around it for a while. Didn't realize there was another deck on top.
Yeah.
So many decks. I was like so excited. So many decks around me.
and there's freaking Jeffries tubes,
So many.
Yeah.
little things you could crawl through and hide in. I mean,
And the detail level.
I mean, the UK office, Foundry 42 is just off the chain, man. I mean, they just blow the expectations of these ships just out of the water. I mean, Aaron is just, he controls that team so well, and they're awesome. They be on their shit, man.
He does. He's a badass dude, and he bought me a beer, so I love him.
Nice.
I will say that is one thing that it shows, because a lot of the guys who formed Foundry 42, I believe, were working with Aaron when he was working before
with Lego, yeah.
With the Lego games. And I mean, say what you want about the Lego games, there's some solid titles in those Lego titles. And so, like, good programming, good art direction, all that kind of stuff. So it makes sense that it shows you if you have a good team that you bring with you, that can speed things up, and you create a nice bar that everyone can hit. So
you guys think do you guys think that with the Starfarer and with the Freelancer and the MISC level of detail that Foundry 42 is bringing into it, is that upping the bar for all of the other ship manufacturers?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I
definitely.
think
They did it with Aegis, and they're doing it with this.
With this,
Yep.
yeah. Like I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what they do with Drake. Like the Drake is one of my favorite because it's so gritty and awesome. It reminds me of the old. I'm gonna pull out the reference here, but like with Red Dwarf with the kind of mining, like just higgledy-piggledy put stuff on a ship, and I really want to kind of see that style come through with Drake. And I think
Greebly.
Yeah.
And you know what's
Greebles.
Something that really blew me away. It spawned in the small Rebel in York for me. So it's sitting up on a cargo box. I crawled underneath the landing pad, and in the rubber foot of the landing pad is a huge MISC logo with the word MISC on it.
Yeah.
So if you land on a dusty planet and you take back off, it's going to have a big MISC logo stuck into the sand.
Do you reckon?
That's awesome.
Blown away, man.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
Also, so up in the leg as well, by the way, in case you haven't seen it, you can't see. I don't know if you can even see if you crouch, but there's actually a whole MISC panel in a place where you couldn't actually see it unless you could see under it. Because I only saw it because I got it stuck up on top of my Grey Cat.
Yeah, the entire level of detail to that ship is just freaking amazing. I mean, like, to me, hauling and support classes and stuff like that isn't something that I personally want to do in the verse. You know, like, I like racing, light craft, that kind of support thing, multi-crew. You know, I like multi-crew, but then again, at the same time, this Starfarer is a ship that, you know, is designed for hauling fuel, you know, collecting fuel, refining it, and also, like, you know, you can get the tanker version. But it sets the precedent for any other ship that's going to be made. Because, I mean, I know there are multiple studios making these ships, but, I mean, they can't all, you know, there can't be too much disparity in the design. And the Starfarer just blows anything else out of the water, because the smaller ships, I mean, like when the Gladius came out, people were like, wow, that attention to detail, wow, you know, those damage states. But I mean, the Starfarer is huge with that same amount of attention to detail and love. It's not even symmetrical. Like, you know, both sides are completely different. You know, like one side has the tunnels, one side doesn't. If you look at the map,
talk about the tunnels, like the maintenance tunnels, like you can get from the fourth deck all the way down to the bottom of the ship through the ladders and the maintenance tunnels.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's great. I mean, it gives some more variety for the ship. It also gives a variety for people assaulting the ship. So you have to cover different areas. It also makes it so, like, people like me who have a goal of sometimes being a space hitchhiker and just kind of sneaking aboard ships, and like there are cubby holes I could hide in that the crew may never find me. You know?
And this has been going all through Reddit like mad. It would make a beautiful FPS level if they would park.
I was just about to say that.
Yep. Geo, I mean, could you not have hours of fun? And if they put a spawn and by the way, CIG, if anyone from CIG is listening, can you please put a spawn point at Korea for people like me that suck at FPS? I only get to run around for like 10 minutes and then I gotta wake up, get a ship, fly back over.
I think that's where Star Marine will shine, is that people can actually kind of go around and do that. And I can't wait for them to put the more like stations, like the like more space in the stations, because we were only seeing like a very small portion of those stations. Like even Korea is a very small portion of what overall Korea
a small portion of Stanton as well.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that 2.4 is going to be an expansion of Stanton.
Well,
and bring in Nyx, man. Nyx is there.
Yeah. We need it. Brian did mention in the latest ATV that they were just completing a new large station. He said large station, so I'm not sure just how big he's talking about. He didn't give it a name.
It's probably Shubin.
Yeah.
Well, there's the 6 mile long.
Yeah, Shubin is massive. It's a city. That's also a station.
It's also a key part of Squadron 42, which is why it's a priority right now.
Right.
So.
It's like takes place in like the first several missions are just all around Shubin. So,
but honestly, like the Starfarer is the first ship that really strikes me as a ship that you, as a small like corporation organization, could live and breathe your organization on board that. I just 100% hope that they get the onboard like mini game gameplay stuff in there, so that it's not just the pilot having fun. You can run around and live out your corp life on that ship.
Did anybody else get the Aliens vibe from that? The Nostromo vibe, especially from the top floor with the the suit hangers and everything like that.
You know, the pilot may have the least fun in that. We may not even know until I
think one of the big things that they need to do, put as much work and development time and effort into the non-combat things as they're doing for combat things. Because right now, CryEngine in and of itself, you know, regardless of all the modifications that have been done to it, it is a first-person combat engine, which is why that's what we're seeing so much of right now.
Yeah, I feel like they will be.
Yeah, I feel more. I feel like 2 times the amount of effort should be put into non-combat as combat, because combat takes care of itself.
Yeah, and combat is simple.
Its own content.
Yeah, and we're gonna get combat no matter what, just because we have Squadron 42, which is heavy combat. It's all combat.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be able to we'll be able to like soak up a lot of that combat stuff just from that, let alone in the universe.
But even things to me, even things that might seem boring to like your hardcore combat gamers, like pointless stuff, like being able to play cards on the deck on the table in your living space on the Starfarer, or having to go around and actually check on computer terminals to check the status of your engineering systems, or like having a random system in there so that random parts of your ship just break down as you're flying along and you have to go around and fix them. Like silly things like that might seem mundane, boring. That stuff adds so much flavor.
Like individual part degradation, you know?
Exactly, yeah. And
Yep.
Your
Gives you
starboard
something
engine's
to
going to go.
Yeah, so you can. I hope to foresee having organizations where you have a rotor and a shift, and you're the engineering team, and on your shift to go around and check all the systems. And,
or like, for instance, even on the Starfarer, like that little catwalk. Like, hey, the automated systems are screwing up. You got to go check on the refinery bow back and make sure it works. You got to suit
It's
up,
like my
go
favorite
out
part.
and mess around with it, and then come back in.
Yeah. I have no shortage of face for that.
That is so awesome, that little fucking boardwalk. It reminds me of like some of the older blimps. They used to have like the airwalks. You go back and prepare the blimps. So I think that's cool. Just the ship in general. I mean, when you see it outside of walking in it looks, it's big, but it doesn't look, when you actually go inside, I would never think it was that big. Like looking on the outside. And you got to think, this was going to be just a 2-seater ship. Because this was going to be like the second ship I bought after I pledged. That's all it was going to be originally, just the tankers and 2 pilots. And this thing just evolved to like a whole nother thing. And I know people are pissed off about the price change of it going up. I was about to buy the base model. I got a Gemini. I was about to buy it till I found out the price went up. So luckily, people who got in, because it was the cheapest bigger ship out of the bunch. It was only $195, and now it evolved to like this whole multi-crew awesome ship. So you're still getting a good value at 300. What was it, $300 now?
Yeah, and it's going to go up again.
It'll go up again.
Yeah,
Steal of the century.
So then it's going to go up to 400.
Yeah, well, that's
when it's flight ready. They said it's going to be another 100, I think.
Yeah, but that's to be like, the problem is if you look at all the other ships that are in the same size category, the Carrack, the Reclaimer, the Orion, they all are around that price. Since it's about the same size, it makes sense for it to be priced about the same.
Well, and again, look at the price as functionality as well. Like everything that it's going to be able to do. It's got that big ass cargo bay, the fuel refining. Like Flint said, you're going to be able to live in that thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Comfortably.
And see, and that's the benefit of going early on with a concept sale. See, now sometimes it kind of backfires. Like the Jean Scott, people are pissed off it doesn't have 2 seats, but that's the territory that comes with concept. Here, someone who put $195 on it doesn't know how it's going to be on the final phase. Now you're benefiting getting this awesome multi-crew ship that was supposed to be only 2 seats.
And I guarantee you it's going to happen again with the Merchantman. Like the brand new Merchantman was $250 when that was when it was about the same size as a Connie. Now it's like bigger than the Starfarer.
That's got to go up.
So it's going to go up massively. So those of you who jumped in early with the concept sale got the advantage of saying, "Hey, thank you for putting your trust in us. You gave us the money. You've got a better ship." So, and I think that's the same.
I thought the Tally was going to go up in price when it came. I was surprised that one didn't.
Well, it kind of did because they did the module system.
The modules.
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Okay. True. Yeah. Well, based. Yeah.
Do you reckon they're going to do modules for the Starfarer, or is it just the military ships?
I think
no. They are. There definitely are. There's blueprints on CIG right now that has it with solid cargo boxes instead of tanks.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's an absolute necessity. That's what I want. I don't want a fuel carrying Starfarer. I want a cargo carrying Starfarer.
Well, the other thing is that there's all these little nooks and crannies that I could see you could probably put things in. Like someone said that they wanted to. They mentioned they want a medical bay or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't doubt that there is a place where you could put a med bay in there with all the little side panels and stuff like that they have.
Yeah.
And not to mention those boxes they have on the old blueprints. It's 6 boxes, 3 per side. If they're pressurized and you can connect them with Jeffrey tubes or whatever, you could have a medical box. You could have a science box, then like 4 cargo boxes behind that. They could actually expand that ship and make it an amazing multitasking ship.
Yeah, a lot of ships now too. With their new building system, a lot of them are built up to have modularity going forward. Some of the older ships got to get the rework for that to happen. But most of the future ships they're building up now are built for modularity.
Yeah, that's the reason why the 300 and the Cutlass are going back for reworks.
Yeah.
And they even mentioned that they're going to rework the Aurora.
The Aurora is definitely getting reworked. I mean, for example, it doesn't have now the new standard RSI airlocks, for example.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's even a more reason not to spend money on every ship, because now all these ships are getting modularity, and you could build your ship to be whatever. I can make my Retaliator instead of a bomber. I can make it a cargo runner now, just because of that modularity.
You can make it a gunship. I mean, like with the troop transports and the the medical bays or the living quarters and stuff like that. You can
yeah, or just a kick it ship.
Yeah,
on the later. It's all up to you.
You can make it a bachelor pad, a flying bachelor pad,
kitchen
for all the ladies.
Have some
You can make a flying kitchen.
Why not?
Strip club, baby.
But
I have a question.
Before I continue, I do want to remind chat that if you had exclamation point questions in chat, you can take you to a Google forum. You can ask a question for the cast, individuals, the whole cast, whatever you want to do. You can do what you want. So just do that. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, exclamation mark
questions.
Yeah.
So I want to take on a slight tangent. I'm still on Starfarer though. I want to. So the Starfarer has, as it gets introduced, they've said they want to introduce ships as the mechanics that come alongside it are introduced. So introduce mining ships when mining comes in. So looking forward for when the Starfarer actually goes flight ready, it's reasonable to assume that they'll put in fuel harvesting. But then the knock-on effect of that is if they have fuel harvesting, then maybe the knock-on of that is, okay, we have the expanded Stanton as well. Because right now we're flying around just within a small area around one planet. Stanton is so much bigger. We're looking at jumps that can take like 15, 20% of your quantum fuel within that one planet. So a jump across from Crusader to, let's say, to ArcCorp could take like 78% of fuel. So you need fuel.
Yeah, well, they may also just switch the ratio around, because right now they're trying to make it interesting in terms of making you get refueled. But I also think we've got some steps before we can get to that point. Like we need to be able to, because right now you could probably fit an entire server on a Starfarer, and to be able to fit all of the crew stations and stuff like that. So they need to be able to get that central hub working and get instancing working before we could really have a Starfarer. It might be cool to have a Starfarer in the universe, but like I think it wouldn't be a very fun thing to do right now or in the next couple of patches. Like down the line would be great.
Have they said anything about how they're going to handle the fuel refining? Is it going to be similar to like say how Elite Dangerous does it, where you have to be close to a star?
Yeah, no, it's gas giants. Gas giants, you have to scoop up from a gas giant to get certain elemental gases, and then you refine those gases, and there's actually kind of like a little mini game where you have to like introduce the right amount of gases and all that kind of stuff. Just like
I guess possibly like nebulae as well. You're about to get some from and so yeah.
Is that why you can get so close to Crusader now?
Do you think we'll see a sensor suite then on the Starfarer for exploration and scanning?
I'm sure it's already there. I mean, I'm sure like the two engineering spots on the bridge, I'm sure are sensors and like defense systems, or at least they may not be in the game yet, but like I'm sure it's already planned.
Yeah.
So sorry to bring us back. So with the new ships, like we're talking about how those new ships have modularity now, and like they're less and less variants. But when we first started, into the game, we had the Auroras, we had the 300 series, and there were very, very specific, levels of Aurora. You had like the Lux, you had the Clipper, you had the, and then with the 300,
the variants.
Yeah, exactly. So I was thinking, when they remake the 300 series, do you think that they're still going to keep the 300i, 315p, 25a, 350?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You would still have them. But it'll be okay. Like for the Vanguard, for instance, when it came out, you had the bomber variant.
Yeah.
You had the Sentinel, or you just had the the regular.
Yeah.
So you could buy whichever one you want. Then you could buy the kits for it and just kit it out to whatever you want, and just have like the bomber and then buy a Sentinel kit, and you don't have to spend the extra money on variants, because back then you just had to buy every variant for every ship you want. That's no more a thing. You could just buy what kit you want for it.
Right. So you don't think that they're going to like just melt them down to one 300 series with like a 25A kit, or?
So I think they'll still sell the specific variants, but I don't think it will limit you from like you said, swapping parts out. It's the same as you can buy like a BMW 525, but you can get a 3-liter engine and stick it in there. It doesn't mean you now have a 535, but it doesn't stop you doing that if you want to. Or you can just go buy a 535. But I mean, with those, specifically with the 300 series, they have very specific loadout. So the 315 has a very exploration-specific loadout. The 350R has like all about the engines. So they are very, very different configurations, rather than just having a module you plug in and says, "Oh, I'm a race ship now." I think those are very disparate, like overall loadouts.
Okay.
The Reliant is a lot of the same way.
Yeah.
The different variants of the Reliant that are for very different things. So.
Yeah, they're so different though.
Yeah, see, with that one they sold the variants first, and then they said you could come back and get the kits. They didn't sell the kits the same time with that one for some reason. I don't know why, but
yeah,
I think
whatever kit.
We're gonna get to a point as well where there's gonna be lots of meta, a hell of a lot of meta around like managing your power, your heat, your cooling, your conduits, to be able to fit things. And what the different models are factory proven configurations of ships that work. Where if you want to swap it out and have like this other system from this other shipping, you have to figure out how to make everything work with that. Make sure you have all the right power. Make sure you have the cooling in place. It's going to be, hopefully, this is me fingers crossed, it's going to be a large job for someone very skilled and experienced in modifying ships to be able to take this random other part from this other variant and fit it into your variant and make it the ship you want.
I like that idea.
It'd be difficult.
Yeah.
But if you're a layman, you can just buy off the shelf the basic, this is the Explorer variant. Overclocking it, modifying it should be an in-depth job.
You know, that's the cool thing. I never thought about that. Like if you're an overclocker or modifier or, repair, you got to learn every ship, how it works, what connects, like how to overclock that ship. Like there's so much stuff you're going to have to learn. And that's a real job for you to learn. You don't have to do anything else, and you'll be like the number one guy to go to.
That would be so cool.
Scotty,
I hope it'll be that intimate, yeah.
Scotty or Kaylee should be like, they know their shit, and that's why you have them on board.
Yeah.
Kaylee.
And you give them
trying to give me an erection.
You've got a group of noobs who've joined your organization. You say, look, go hang out with Scotty. He'll teach you how to make the engines sing. Just go listen to that guy. He's our guy.
Yep.
So, yeah.
I want a pair of LaForge glasses now.
Oh, yes.
And I think that's the long-term goal. At this point, I want to see little baby steps. I think like we can all nerd out about like everything that's going to be going on. I'm going to be kind of bring us back to reality here. Like that stuff is awesome, and I hope we're going to see it here in the near future. But I just want to be able to buy shit. Like I want persistence.
Screw baby steps.
I think that stuff is already getting built in though. Like the certain overclock and stuff, and like I said, you could just buy stuff.
So there's different teams working on all the things. Just because we're not seeing it or any parts of it doesn't mean it's not being actively worked on heavily. It's like persistence, right? The fact we haven't seen persistence isn't because it's been deferred for other things. It's because the team that are working on it are trying to get it right. And as soon as it's ready, it will drop. So
it's like cargo. They had mentioned something that cargo was close to being ready a couple months ago, I think. And personally, I thought we were going to see it in one of the earlier 2 whatever patches. At least an early iteration, they were talking about how you would get it off of the Pirate Rex and you would have to take it back to Cryastro and sell it, yada, yada, yada. And they kind of I think it was on maybe a 10 for the developers or something. And they had made it seem like they had that already close to being completed. So
I think
a lot of things.
Yeah, I think a lot of that stuff is also
that we don't know about.
I think a lot of that stuff is that, like, they have these ideas. Like, Pirate Swarm was a thing for a while, and we've not seen it. The reason why is because they got the PU out, and they're like, well, fuck Pirate Swarm, we've got the PU.
And they canned it.
Yeah, and so, like, that's the kind of thing, like, we'll probably see it eventually down the line, like, when the game comes towards beta, when they start working on stuff like really focusing on Arena Commander and Star Marine, making sure that they are fun games inside of it. But it's just not worth it right now. And I think it's probably more worth it for them to focus on getting cargo in the same way that we deal with persistence and all the other stuff that they may have already canned that. We don't know. Like they come up with stuff.
Things we don't know. We can't see what ducks they have to get in the road to get things out the door, and they want to make it a compelling experience. They may have cargo completely complete. It may be done and finished. They may even have the ships set up to actually do the cargo stuff. It may all be ready to go, but they may be thinking, well, given the size of Crusader, like where are you going to ship cargo from and to? There's nothing
right
cargo from and to.
Yeah,
so,
even though our
our player area seems big, but it's actually minuscule.
Yeah. So until we get expanded Stanton and extra planets and extra stations, maybe there's just no compelling way for them to put this possibly completed system into the game without it actually just seeming a bit lame because they don't have any way to ship cargo. So it might be finished. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't.
Also, you got to think like it didn't make sense to push out Star Marine right now when 2.0 came out and we had somewhat of FPS in there, and everyone could see right now FPS is not the greatest right now. The mechanics aren't really laced. It doesn't feel shooter like. So they need to hone their skills on that and fix that up, then push out the Star Marine. Right now we got a little something we can work with, but let them get the guns down right and how they feel, then we can have Star Marine.
Yeah,
right.
Well, that's the
If you release a subpar FPS shooter right now, it could kill this game.
It could.
I wouldn't say it killed the game. It would do a lot of damage to the game.
Well,
a lot of damage.
For a big, huge part of the gaming community, if you put out an absolutely fantastic Star Marine, it'll sell them on Star Citizen, and you're looking at bringing in another million people to play just because of that the FPS.
I'm pretty sure everyone knows level cap, right? Okay, I talked to him, and he was like, yeah, I'm really waiting for the FPS mechanic, and once a guy like that, puts out a video and his audience sees it, I mean, it needs to be pretty good. I know it's an alpha, but it can't be real. It can't be real basic at what it's at right now.
I can guarantee you, people like Frankie on PC, people like why am I blanking on his name? Jack Frags. They're looking at Star Citizen going, I want to like this game and I want to get into it. And Frankie's already made videos about it. So because this game is already so diversified, it's an FPS, it's a space sim, it's a RPG, it's like, Euro Truck Sim in space, fun. It's going to attract a lot of different types of people to the community, and so it's important that they get it right, which is why they don't need to rush Star Marine right now.
It's a double-edged sword of being such a public and open development. They don't have the liberty of having an alpha that feels like an alpha, because it is an alpha. We know it's an alpha. It has bugs like an alpha, but honestly, if you close your eyes, forget it's an alpha, and play the game, does it really feel like an alpha to you?
Not at all. Not at all.
Polished and smooth. So they don't have the luxury of feeling like an alpha. Everything they put out has to be a compelling gaming experience. So that's a double-edged sword of being so public like it is.
I think one of the things that caused the big kind of controversy with Star Marine was a while ago, before Star Citizen started growing so big in the scope of everything that it wanted to do, that third-party design studio that was working on it pretty much had it almost ready to go. But as Star Citizen got bigger and bigger and bigger, it became harder to implement those things that other studio had done into the heavily modified, the Star engine.
You're also dealing with.
We don't see the guns that they showed a year ago. That's why we don't see any of those mechanics that they showed off, a year ago. Because they basically had to redo everything.
Right, and it probably wasn't up. Now, I bet you if they'd have released that game, it'd have been great. But you go to Chris Roberts with that, and he probably looks at that and goes, that is not on the level we need it to be at. And I can see Roberts saying, you know what? Redo it. I want the start stops right. I want
I can imagine.
Right.
Yeah, I can imagine that Chris Roberts is a demanding taskmaster when it comes to perfection and what he wants to see. And so I'm sure he's a fine fellow and a nice guy.
His brother said that on ATV.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's a fine guy, but he's one of those people who when you work for him, you don't want to disappoint him. So
and that's the guy. That's the kind of guy we want making this game.
Exactly.
This game is, most of us here on this panel, this is our dream game. I would rather wait another 5 years and it be perfect than them rush it out in a couple years and it just be okay.
Yeah, and as a result, it's very difficult to work for it. And if you're an outside contractor and you're constantly telling, okay, that's good, but you need to redo this, you need to redo this, you need to redo this. After a while, the contractor's gonna be like, listen, you just want to buy the studio so we can talk face to face, because people like Ilphonic is working on 3 or 4 different games. I mean, they've got the Friday 13th game, they've got Moving Hazard, and they've got the another Kickstarter thing they're doing themselves. They were hired on as kind of like an auxiliary, like, hey, help us build these FPS mechanics because we don't have enough people. By the time that they started really working on the FPS mechanics to the degree that Chris Roberts was getting involved in the muckety muck, you have 4 studios that CIG has. It's just like, why are we hiring out an outside studio when we have people who built the CryEngine?
Yeah, I can just see it now. Chris was probably like, you know, this is crap. Let me go ahead and scratch it. You know, let's get the Crytek team.
Yeah, It just at a point, he's just like, fuck it, let's just do it. We'll do it live. You know, kind of situation.
Yeah, now they're in house. They're in house, and that studio is focused strictly on that and the persistence and everything on the engine side.
And it's easier to get in contact.
The way Elphonic could have did.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. It's easier to get in contact, and like people don't realize that when working on a project, even of this scale, even of a smaller scale, communication's everything. And if you're not able to communicate directly, constantly, get 100% of their attention 100% of the time, then it's going to go to waste. So that's I think that's to agree is what we're dealing with. With why some of that stuff has come out. Now, let's move on a little bit. Just push us along just a little bit more. I want to show off the video, so I'm going to push this up right now. The video for the Starfarer.
Yes.
So you guys can see it. So I'm going to.
Oh, hold on. Where's my lotion?
That's why I'm not wearing pants right now. I even brought my wife in, and I said, "Look, this is more like what we can expect in a couple years. This is like the game."
Yeah. So let's show it real quick.
Just while you're showing this, I'd say this prompt my tweets. I felt a great disturbance in the verse, as if a million ships suddenly cried out in terror and were suddenly melted.
Yep,
definitely.
Okay.
Never.
Walk, walk, walk.
Pedro music is on.
Seune.
Everyone's saying black screen. Oh.
All I can hear is him pouring his drink.
Alrighty.
That right there will make a whole bunch of fans.
I have one thing to say at that.
Take my money.
There goes my money.
You know what I just noticed, guys? That the back of that ball looks like the what was that on the FPS map? I forgot what FPS map that was. We shut off the gravity. That little ball looks like that was in there.
Yeah,
That's-
gravity
yeah, that's it.
generator.
Yeah, the gravity generator is in there.
Yep.
Oh,
That's awesome.
actually,
it's ready for FPS right now.
Wait. So, I thought that was a gravity generator. Have you read the magazine on that same Starfare information page?
Nope.
Like a jump.
So,
Read it.
honestly, click through that. It's glorious. It goes through a day in the life of the crew on that ship. And if you thought that video and walk around the Starfare gives you a feel for the ship, that magazine article thing they did, 100%. And a couple of things stood out to me. So one, the gravity generator, they actually list it as the nuclear, the power core,
I see.
rather than the gravity generator.
Okay.
Also, what I thought was the engine in that small room in the back with the three lights. Apparently, that's the fuel control pump.
Oh.
According to the article. So there's a few good things in there. But if you definitely check through that, you click through, it goes like a newspaper, and it starts off the day with the captain, the first officer, chatting to.
Now here's a good question: could that power core also be a gravity generator?
Well, Lando actually called it when they were walking around with the designers.
Yeah.
They actually called it a gravity generator.
So this is the confusion I have. There is a bit of confusion there because, I mean, the gravity generator, we saw the same ball in the early FPS video. It's spinning around with all the stuff around it. But with the active video, they have it with the smoke around. And it could be a power core. It could be a power core. We don't know. Maybe that the large station level gravity generators are built around the power core. Who knows?
I suppose you can't generate gravity without power in the first place. So
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
I know what it is. I know what it is. It's a scam. You know, the whole shit, the game, it's all vaporware scam. So no need to look into it, guys.
I need a refund.
Yeah,
I would like a refund.
I'm about to sell my mine right now.
Well, we all know that Star Citizen's a scam. It's just a giant scam. Yeah.
I mean, look at that shit. They obviously do no work. I mean, fuck me, right?
Yep.
Either way, it's 100% worth clicking through that magazine article at the top of the new Starfare post because it's a glorious look at the day in the life.
Yep.
And it goes through each of the crew members and what they're doing on their day.
Yeah, that's what kills me about that video. The lighting is beautiful. The NPCs are so smooth and beautiful. You know, we saw that Morrow tour, and the NPCs were horrible, but it was so early.
Yeah,
now,
different.
and I was like, I'd play that game.
Also, straight up, did nobody else notice that all of the crew members look like the crew members on the from the Wing Commander movie? Like the uniforms look exactly the same as the uniforms from the Wing Commander movie. I
did not notice.
Yeah. They took this very similar style guide. I know that's like on the Morrow tour you can kind of see that too, but it's much more crisp in this video. So.
And then here's something from the video that can't be unseen. The black guy obviously took too many salsa lessons. He cannot walk through a door without doing a spin.
Watch the
spin.
I gotta watch that.
He does that spin.
He's Spanish.
And you know what? My wife said, "Is that a girl? Was that a girl?" I said, "Yeah."
Yes, it was.
There are females in Star Citizen. You will
females.
be able to make your own character.
No grills. Not yet.
Females. as whenever I hear that term, females. Women. Yes, there will be women. There will also be, I'm sure, women aliens as well. So
all kinds of women.
I mean, that's the only.
What is it? MMO RPG? Many men online role playing girls.
Role playing girls. Yes.
It's going on Black Desert right now.
Oh, I will say, like for my immersion, there needs to be alien women because how else am I going to do my Captain Kirk?
Immersion.
Yeah, I need to bang some alien women. That's all I did in Mass
beautiful
Effect.
green women, you know, and
Yep. Star Trek is real.
Yeah. So I mean, that's pretty much what it is. What do you guys think for 2.4? Like honest opinion, based on what you've seen from the various stuff. What do you think we're going to see in 2.4?
Reliance.
Flyer, or like hangar or flyer or flyable?
I say flight.
Okay.
I'd say flight.
Both. Yeah, hangar and flight.
Hangar. I think hangar.
So
Because they had the animations already.
Yeah.
Going up and stuff. So
they've already talked about doing the damage states, already doing the lighting passes for flight mode and horizontal mode. They've already talked about going through everything. I can almost guarantee the Reliance can be flyable in 2.4. They've just gone way too far.
Yeah, because the Cartual, surely that's a more technically difficult ship to get right. I mean, even that doesn't have all its flight modes yet, and it sucks that, like the transformation isn't like a button press, it's automatic.
Right.
But if they can get the Cartual in and ready and doing all that, then I guess they can, the Reliant is
and the MISC style guide is done. The MISC is, they're just pulling from a pool of textures and materials to do that ship. So it's not like the Cathual where they had to do everything 100% from scratch. We've already got a Freelancer. We've already got a Starfarer. That MISC Reliant it's ready. It should have been 2.3.
Well,
Devil's advocate, they may want to stagger things, so they may do each patch, one new flyable, one new hangar.
See, that's the reason that I think it'd be hangar ready, and maybe it'd be hangar ready for the PTU, but as a surprise, like kind of what they did with the Vanguard, they just kind of snuck it in on that 2.2 release.
Well, they got Aegis down to a T now, so I mean they could make another damn ship right now. They got all the assets.
Well, here's the thing: is that like the same thing with the MISC. They have the Freelancer, they have the Starfarer, and the Reliance is just another MISC ship. Yes, it has some Xeon tech in it, but it's just another MISC.
They all
ship.
do.
Yeah, they all have. So.
What do you think? But what do you think hangar ready then? If say if
I think it's going to be hangar ready. I don't think it'll be flyable because they've been saying that they don't know about it flyable. Now I agree with all you guys that they've been doing this shit for a while. Like they have all of it already done basically. But they said that it should be hangar ready. It may not be flyable. Is what they said.
Hangar ready. I think so. If it's something along with the Reliant or other than the Reliant, maybe the Dragonfly.
No, Herald.
I don't feel that.
That hasn't even hit concept.
They did say that they want to get the Dragonfly out pretty fast. So my guess is like
smaller ship too.
It's a smaller ship. I'm guessing 3 months because they're trying to get the Drake style down, and once they get the Drake style down, I bet you that the Dragonfly will be a lot more because they're going to the Buccaneer. They've got the Buccaneer that's being made. They've got the Cutlass. They've got the Caterpillar, which is in white box, which is getting finished up, and they've got the Dragonfly. So they're working on 4 different Drake ships and the Herald. So they've got 5 different Drake ships they're working on, all of which are in various forms of being close to being redone or out. So
that would be the next one I think would be closest is the Herald because they almost had it done, then they stopped. I forgot whatever reason.
It's probably because they were trying to get the Drake style guy done. Because that's what they did with a lot of them. They stopped them and they went back to try to like the Starfarer and the Caterpillar. They stopped so they could go back and try to do the entire style guide, and then they came back to it to try to get it done.
Yeah, see, Dragonfly, they gotta sell concept first before we even see that even come in.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we do a roundtable? Zerker, what do you think hangar? What do you think flyable?
I think we'll have hangar ready for the Reliant, and I think we'll have that's it. I think we might have a hangar ready Caterpillar, but yeah.
Oof.
Caterpillar.
Ouch.
Maybe. Meyer?
I really feel like I mean, with the Vanguard, how far apart was the Vanguard from being hangar ready to flight ready? Was it like pretty much instantaneous?
4 months.
They couple of batches.
The same time. It was released to the hangar and to flight ready at the same time.
So I feel that might.
No, there's a couple of patches went through with it being in the hangar.
Yeah, it was in the hangar for a while.
Was it flight ready in 2.2 and hangar ready in 2.1? Because it was in a couple of the hangars, then they removed it from the PTU. But it was in the PTU, then they removed it from the PTU as a hangar ready, and then they brought it back. So it might have been like a patch or 2.
Either way, I have a feeling that this Reliant is going to come out hangar ready, at the very least hangar ready. But I feel flight ready. I feel flight ready as well at the same time. So I think I've used up both my answers. Yeah, I feel that.
So just one ship, just that.
Just one ship, yeah, the Reliant. I'm putting all my chips in the Reliant because I own one. That's like the only other ship that I own, and I really want that ship. So that's where my money's at.
And GHG?
I'm gonna stick with Reliant flyable, only because they've talked about it so much. How much work they put into actual things that are making ships flyable. And I'm thinking that one hangar ready, one flyable is the way I'm thinking. And as far as hangar ready, I'm going to agree with Gio. I think they'll sneak the Drake on us. The Herald.
The Herald.
Yeah.
Brickyard?
They have talked about Harold for a long time, but didn't they get sidelined?
I
It did,
think
but it's back.
it has a lot to do with the fact that they needed to get a lot of the E-War stuff in because it's so easy.
Yeah.
Brickyard?
So I think that we'll probably see the Reliant hangar ready. As far as a flyable ship, if I had to say something, I would say maybe even the Starfarer, but we don't know, because I think it's too big for the current landing pads at Olisar. So
they need to expand all that as well. Yeah.
They're going to need to expand Olisar for that. So I think we'll definitely see the Reliant hangar ready, though.
Okay. Gio?
Reliant, I think it's going to be flight ready. And like I said, I think if they sneak one in, maybe the Herald. So
yeah.
That's why I'm going with it.
And Flint?
Yeah, so I'm going to stick with the thought that they may want to stagger things out there. So I agree, Starfarer flyable with lots of other things, which is into the whole pile of things I hope to expect in 2.4. But Reliant definitely is 100%. I would say it's going to be hangar. Whether or not it's flyable is going to be a bit of a stretch. And if it is flyable, we may see a third.
Right.
We may see a third.
Now, quick question: do any of you guys think there will be any features added? And maybe major features or minor features that'll be added for the next patch?
Allow me to go on a large.
We'll go reverse again. So we'll go Flint and
pilot.
then Gio and then back.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, so basically, I've had this discussion around with Mr. Paul Shelley. He's very pessimistic, which is safe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more optimistic because I'm looking at the underlying because their studio is big enough that they're working on multiple things at the same time. And the way they're doing this release schedule is if something's ready, it goes in. So it's highly possible, and I now think quite likely that we'll see lots of things arrive in one big chunk because they're not a single thread team anymore. We're not saying, okay, we'll get this done, and then we've got to get this other thing done. There's loads of things being worked on. So the things that have been worked on for a long time that I hope to see in this patch, and if not this patch, definitely the patch afterwards, we're looking at persistence as the foundation bedrock. I know, Paul, you don't think it's going to happen.
Nope.
But I see persistence as the bedrock, and with that comes shipping as almost a gimme. Nyx, because it's been sat for so long and they've been teasing it for so long, I think it's going to arrive. And the twist on that, I think that's going to come as a landing zone.
Yeah.
As an actual procedural planet landing zone. They're going to drop it in there like they did in the demo on a random rock. But they're going to give us that landing zone as a procedural landing zone. I think because we're getting the Starfarer, we likely will see a basic fuel mechanic, being the gathering of fuel. But at the very least, I hope and expect to see cargo go in, and that being tied along with the larger Stanton. So having an expanded Stanton. So that's all the things I hope and expect to see in 2.4. And they're all kind of linked.
Is that all?
You think we'll see something more fleshed out with Item System 2.0?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, all that stuff ties in together. It all goes into persistence. And I think one surprise, one thing that we could not guess.
One thing that I think we're going to see as a feature that's going to be bigger than people might give it credit for, maybe an underrated feature, is going to be the addition of the contextual use menu.
Oh, 100%. Oh, my God.
Getting rid of just the use CryEngine bracket and having an actual menu that says get in pilot seat, closed door, open door, whatever it might be. I think we'll hopefully see that as well.
Honestly, I actually agree. I think because that ties into shopping, right?
Mm.
You look at clothing, you get the contextual options of what you want to do with that clothing.
Well, they showed it was like a GIF or something that I saw maybe from Sandy, and they were looking at weapons on the job outlet, and they had it said examine or details.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
And the buy option and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
And
Well,
that's
they had it in the Moritor as well. So in the Moritor, when he turns around and talks to the guy and has those two options, it was swapping between. That's the context menu. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's tied into it's core to things like shopping, the cargo. So being able to interact with cargo and have options and how you're interacting with cargo and stuff, it ties in pretty well. So I think that's a pretty good bet.
How about you, Gio?
Like I said, I think I said, the shopping I think is going to be in with the clothing. Maybe we could finally get a female character in soon. Hopefully.
Just variety. I'm tired of being the same dude. Like, if we have the same dude and the same chick, at least then we have the same dude and the same chick.
To be fair, I'm tired of you being the same dude too.
I am. Everyone's tired. Even Cam's tired of me being the same dude. Go ahead, Gio.
And maybe we may see some more FPS mechanics get tightened up for release of Marine, because we could see the Star Marine menu. I thought I could get in when I first got in, but obviously you can't. But it would be nice to see that tighten up so we get that.
That menu had a lot of stuff fleshed out on it too.
Yeah.
That was clickable, that you could go into and you could mess around with.
So traversal, sliding, those parts that they said they're almost finished on, I completely forgot about those.
Yeah.
Sliding and traversal? Is that
like vaulting over things, sliding into cover, those traversal mechanics that we talked about a lot.
How about you, GHG? Okay, we'll just skip you and come back.
So no. What I want to say is, I want to agree with Flint so bad. The problem is they just talked about last week about how they're just doing the roadmap to persistence, and we have to have persistence for 99% of these things we want in. They've been talking about Nyx for so long, like he said, and it's all about the bazaar. They focus on the bazaar and the shopping, but we have to have persistence for shopping. And I want shopping for individuality. I want everyone to be able to dress differently, even if it's one damn character model. If we could all have a red shirt, a yellow shirt, a green hat, something to differentiate us.
No one wants to be red shirt. No one wants to be red shirt.
Oh, except for red shirts. Yeah, you're right. But the problem is the persistence, and them talking about how they're just now getting with Turbulent because it has to be in with the web page. They're just getting a roadmap now, and that's got to be something. It's got to be a huge coding issue.
Well, here's the thing with the website. Do you guys think that when persistence comes into the game and shopping is actually based in game, is Voyager Direct on the site, the electronic access store on the site, is all of that stuff going bye-bye? Like, are we not going to be able to?
Not until we go live.
It's just in case something screws up big time in the game, they're still going to have a backup.
Yeah. Until we go live, I think we'll keep Voyager Direct, and then it'll transfer, and you'll have a virtual Voyager Direct on your Moby Glass. But until we go live, I think they almost have to keep that. But they need to get their prices in check because they're kind of silly still.
Yeah. I thought they said that was going to X. I forgot. I don't know where I watched that. They said they were going to X out the Voyager Direct, where you could just buy stuff with in-game currency.
Yeah, but they've even talked about a different currency being used for alpha versus final. Like they've been
thinking about The thing is, it's basically they're moving the back end. Currently, the web back end is a web back end. It's all on the web server. The web service handles everything, and the game actually connects to and polls the web stuff. So when you change things in the hollow table piece of crap that it is, you're actually changing things on the web service, the platform, and then when you go into a game, it's polling the platform. It's moving all the back end into the game servers. That's what persistence is moving that all to the back end. So now instead of like having its own ecosystem, the platform will then connect to the game servers to be able to get the information around all that stuff. Now to counter gray-headed gamers, not to say that I disagree with what he's saying, it's obviously a big risk, but to play the devil's advocate, we're talking about persistence 1.0 here. What do they need in place to allow the core early version of these systems for testing? Persistence 2.0, 3.0, and whatever, to get all of the richness of depth of features that we will need for the full game is going to take a long time. And there's no way they can get to a game-ready state of persistence within 6 months to a year, even. because the systems that are built on top of that are going to be changing. They're going to be mutating as we go forward. One drives the other. And it kind of drives down the circle, right? Because the game system.
Yeah, I can agree with that. A primitive version of just linking our miniature PU to the web page to allow us. They just talked about also. They're trying to work out how you can, change your flare around in your hangar and stuff like that. That's all linked.
Basic persistence now we need is, instead of being based, so right now it's 0 persistence. It's all flat file on your local system, and it's the back end of the website. The basic persistence we need to give us most of these systems is a server-based database for our characters, which has information we can store persistently, which is ship fits, character equipment, and specifics like static state for various things on the game server. There's lots more that could go in there, but as long as we have that, like core database for the server, which they've talked about a lot with, I forget what they call it, DataForge?
Yeah, DataForge.
So that DataForge is the basis of a basic version 0.1 persistence. And I think that's probably enough to handle most of these features in their rudimentary form. I'm not going to say it's glorious, that it's going to be like magical, awesome MMO persistence, but I think we can get what we need for these core versions of these systems for testing. I think we can get with a very rudimentary DataForge-based persistence, in my mind. And please feel free to argue against that.
I'm saving it. I'm saving it. Meyer, go ahead. What do you think?
So, are we talking about how far into the future are we talking about?
We're talking about the next patch.
2.4 next month.
All right, 2.4 the next patch. Well, a couple things. Not as many as Flint's, but a couple things. Well, when Baron was doing that podcast with DJ not too long ago, and Chris came in, Chris did mention a couple of things. He mentioned the prison that they're going to implement sometime in the future to deal with the criminals, but that's not what I'm going to talk about. He also mentioned when he was running away from somebody else and going into Quantum or Cruise that they were working on quantum interdiction, and quantum interdiction is something that he's brought up a couple times in that stream, also in a 10.4 before that, and it's a very crucial mechanic that I feel needs to be in that game very soon. Because if you go into Arena Commander and you're fighting one other person, because you're in an Arena Commander, you're in there to kill the person, and you don't really care too much about running away. But if you've ever tried to run away from somebody in Arena Commander, then you almost always get to run away. Because as it is, I mean, like, well, especially if you're in Crusader, you go into Cruise and you're gone, because all the ships have different speeds, and once you go, you're gone. They can't catch you up. If they go into Quantum, they can chase you to the location, but they can't catch you up. So I feel that is going to be something that's going to be there very soon. Maybe 2.4, but yeah. Okay. Also, in the roadmap, the 2.0 roadmap, did subsumption come before or after persistence?
It's after persistence.
After persistence, because they brought up subsumption quite a bit in the last ATV, and they were talking about the subsumption with. I would have thought that persistence was the whole moving things around in your hangar and stuff like that, but they mentioned that under subsumption. So if persistence is coming first, then maybe 2.5, not 2.4. So, but yeah.
All right, so. While I agree that Flint is much more knowledgeable in this situation than I am, because Flint is actually working in the industry, and I'm sure many people in this panel have worked in the industry in some way, shape, or form. Or is it just Flint? Is it just Flint? Flint is the only one. Meyer, do you do software?
We all have real jobs.
Yeah, I'm just a factory worker.
But my feeling is this: we've had this situation before with CIG, where CIG was waiting for something that's almost out. And they hold out for a couple of months until they can get it done to put it out. Like they were waiting for with Star Marine, they were waiting for the back end to be solid enough for them to release Star Marine, and as well as other things that they were messing around with Star Marine. But they were really concerned about the back end work. Now I think what's going on is that they were going to put out a kind of a hacked in version of persistence with 2.2 or 2.3, and then they realized that they were able to work on the central servers enough that they felt like they could get it closer. A central server that was more like the final version, kind of like how we have Jim now, and how Jim was kind of came out of the clusterfuck that was the early netcode stuff. I think they're getting close enough that they said we can put off Persistence for a couple more patches and get that system done, and then we can put it in. Besides, we've got a bunch of other stuff we need to worry about with Persistence, like they just talked about how they needed to get, like, how are we going to store the gear that you have, once you buy it, or they're thinking about the little nitty-gritty details about it, which means that they're there, but they're not quite there. Like, they're still planning on it. So I don't think we're going to see Persistence in 2.4, only because I think we'll get a Persistence which will be better than what originally we're going to get in 2.5 or later.
I think that's the same thing that's kind of happened with the procedural landing type stuff. The Pupil to Planet thing is, they had this original idea of what they wanted to do, and then the wizards over in Germany came and said, no, this is how it's going to work, and they managed to make it work. So I think Persistence is a little bit along the same lines, where they thought they were going to be able to kind of wedge it in one way, and now there's a lot of things that they can do that they couldn't necessarily do even 5-6 months ago.
Yeah, and if it costs a few months to get a much better starting position, I'm all for that. So, and I think that's how CIG works, is that if they're like, well, we could hack it in now, but if we wait a couple months, we can get just this super fucking awesome thing, and they'll do that.
Even with the damage states now, I don't know if you guys heard on the last 10-4, there are no more damage states. Now it's however powerful your weapon is, and it hits a wing.
Wait, is that in now?
Big hole? No, not yet. They're still working on it.
Yeah, well, they've been working that for a year.
It's on some ships.
Yeah.
It's in the last.
Yeah,
I just have to point out that the Stout Man, the all-powerful Stout Man, who is related to the all-powerful Jesus of the most powerful studio in the whole of CIG Foundry.
He is. How would be that
German
name?
Jesus?
Yeah.
He agrees
Pirate Jesus.
that the Persistence will start as a nugget and grow.
No, I agree with that completely, but I think
Golden egg.
the foundation needs to be what they're doing is the foundation will be a much more solid foundation than what they originally had. So, like, I agree with 100% with what you said, Flint, except for I think the reason why it's going to come in later is because they're going to start with a stronger foundation than with a weaker foundation and build up afterwards, because then they have to replace coding and all the kind of stuff like that. So rather than that kind of stuff.
If I didn't know that Christ Roberts was Christ Roberts, I would think Brian Chambers was the Christ. He looks so much more like Christ.
And it's fine. I mean, it's good to have a healthy two-sided discussion. I mean, it's your prerogative to be wrong, Paul.
Yeah.
So.
I think at the end of the day, though, I would rather be wrong and you be right than me be right and you be wrong.
Yeah,
so I want it faster.
I've got to say, I am filled with optimism, and I am making large extrapolations from what I see to be systems that are coming towards fruition. And it all comes with a massive asterisk that just says at the tagline at the bottom, shit happens. Yeah. Which means any and all of this will not come to pass if shit happens, and it always does. So I'm just saying it's all those things that I put forward are feasible to arrive, and they're systems they've worked on extensively over the last several months, and it's highly reasonable that any of these could arrive, and it would be like Christmas mid-year if it happens.
Oh, yeah. No, I think, as you said, Persistence is the cornerstone. I think Gray said this as well. It's the cornerstone of everything going forward. We need it before we can go forward with anything else. And once we have Persistence, it will be like the floodgates have opened. They're just going to start dropping in features like it's Christmas, like it's a freaking bachelor party, and like everyone's getting laid. That's what's going to happen.
Like it's 1999.
I know I've already had my turn, but something else just came to mind about features, and one that I feel might come out in the next patch, because they called it easy so many times. They said that like they have an Idris that they play with in their own build, and they can land stuff in there. Chris called docking and undocking a Merlin easy.
They did say, however,
that's Chris.
They said reverse. They said reverse the verse that it was going to that it wasn't. It's being worked on, but it's not. They don't think it's going to be ready for 2.0.
Oh yeah,
that's what they said. That's at least according to INN. Well, not INN. That's according to Reddit. It was nobody on INN.
Oh, Reddit.
So I don't know. Reddit could be completely wrong, because Reddit. I know Reddit's never wrong.
Reddit's never wrong, bro.
If it's on Reddit, it's real.
It's real. It's got to be real.
Fact.
We did it, Reddit. We did it. So that was it for the script. I've got a bunch of questions here for you guys. If you guys do want to have questions, feel free to hit.
Okay, I got 2 more things to throw at you guys.
Go, do it.
All right, 1. The next concept ship is going to be a MISC ship. So what do you guys think it's going to be?
Mining vessel.
Yeah,
The Orion.
Nope.
No.
Small mining vessel.
Oh, concept.
Small mining
Yeah.
vessel.
Small mining. Yeah, small mining.
Yeah. I think they already confirmed that. I think they confirmed that, or Ben did on Reverse Verse, that it's going to be the mini mining ship from MISC. Will 99% be the next concept ship, which I believe is a absolutely fantastic idea.
Yeah, we need a starting miner, so I feel like that's about right.
I just want the Orion.
Something
really bad.
between the 50 and 100 range, I think, something like that. Something like the
A whole
compass.
A with a mining laser.
Yeah, the whole A with a mining
Pretty
laser,
much,
or like a
Yeah.
compass with a mining laser, sort of thing.
Yeah. Something about the size of a freelancer that has a mining laser, a tractor beam, and it doesn't have to have a refinery or anything. Just a place to store your ore.
Maybe a small refinery or something like that, but that's it. You know, something that's like so small and so ridiculous that you're never going to use it, or if you use it, it's like because you're doing a mission that you need to refine like a tiny amount of things for someone. You know.
Yeah. We need to start a mining ship though, because all we have is the end game one, don't we? The
Yep.
Orion.
Yeah.
I'm calling it
Like,
the end
how do you fall in love with mining?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And you need to have that wildcat mining expedition where you're going out with just your hat, your corncob pipe, and a tiny mining laser. That kind of situation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
with your proverbial little pickaxe, just at rocks.
Yeah, I'm still gonna get this one too because with the Orion, you're gonna need a crew, not just that crew for the carrot. You're gonna need some defense because you're like an open target that will.
The Orion is like twice the size of the Starfarer, if I remember correctly, in terms of length. So
I know.
I think that still
if
gets
you can
wrecked,
see how
though.
big a Starfarer is, you're gonna need a ton of crew just to like be able to make it work. Like you probably need
I know
like
that a
5
lot of
people just to
people
aim that
give,
damn mining
I know
laser.
that a lot of people give EVE Online a lot of grief, but EVE Online, if you're mining in EVE and you're doing it as a group, like say you're out in nullsec, which is like zero security space, and you're mining, you need to have a group of people with you who are there dedicated just for security.
Yeah.
Or you will get wrecked.
Yeah.
I think that's how it's gonna happen in this
You will
game.
get
I'm
Tyrannosaurus
pretty
Rex.
sure.
Yeah, you got to. You got some turrets on the Orion, but you say you get a squad of Hornets on you, you're done.
Yeah, you could probably take a few out, but after that, it's curtains.
I just hope there's some docking collars on the Orion, so I can dock up my fighter ship on the side, hop inside, play cards with the crew,
Yes.
and then just go running down the corridor when the shit hits the fan, dive into my ship, and go play shit.
With the klaxons going aruga, aruga. Yeah. Now I will cover some of these questions real quickly. The first one is for those of you guys who are wondering about this. This is a brand new podcast. It came up to my mind because Starcast, which most of us have been on or will hopefully be on at some point, is on hiatus. It's on hiatus until the end of April because the Geek Demos have to work some stuff out. So because I think the community likes Starcast and they like this format and they like this time slot, Captain's Table is here to fill that time slot until Geek Demo comes back. And if
Fill it up.
So if there won't be a Starcast, there will be a Captain's Table at this point as well. So and we might change the times around if people really like this content and they want to see more of it. We might move it to like say a Sunday or a Friday night or something like that, depending on whom I can get. But the goal of this is to get as many people as I can from the Star Citizen community as content creators and talk with them. It shouldn't be the same people unless I'm having trouble finding people who can come. There'll be new people, new voices coming in all the time. I'll try to get everyone from the biggest streamers to the tiniest YouTubers to come on and hang out and talk. So if you have people who are interested, who might be interested in doing this, you can always send them a message saying, hey, Paul Shelley's looking for people to come on the Captain's Table. If you want to come on and hang out, it's this time. It'll be normally at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, and I believe 11 p.m. GMT. Because you guys are going into, those of you in England and in Europe, you guys are going into your daylight savings on Sunday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
So